everyone, and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. Big holiday coming up, big wine holiday, Thanksgiving. I think it's probably one of the bigger wine holidays I know about, other than in the middle of the summer when you're, especially here in San Juan Island, where it's super busy, a lot of people drinking wine, having events and family things and all that. But as far as holidays go, I would say Christmas and Thanksgiving are two of the biggest wine holidays. And a lot of people, want to know what to drink for Thanksgiving, especially the traditional turkey meal, or a lot of people do duck, things like that. There's many variations now. A lot of people don't go traditional, but turkey definitely is the big thing in Thanksgiving. And one of the wines that is always brought up, no matter what blog you read, no matter what information you hear, Pinot Noir seems to be the favorite for matching with the Thanksgiving meal. So we have 3 Pinot Noirs here. We're going to try, see how they do. But the reason for that is that Pinot Noir can have good acidity, which you need when you're eating food. It also has very light tannins, which works with turkey because, it's not a heavy protein rich thing like Christmas where you have prime rib. A lot of people do prime rib. So not having a lot of tannins works with the Thanksgiving meal. Also the flavors with Pinot Noir, especially from the Willamette Valley, which all of these are from. You get, a lot of people like to use Burgundy, but Burgundy can be expensive. You can find reasonably priced Burgundy, and I might do a Burgundy episode before Thanksgiving, but right now I'm doing Willamette Valley because I think some of the best values in Pinot Noir and some of the best Pinot Noir come from the Willamette Valley in Oregon. So we're going to look at that. So the subtle tannins, the juiciness of the fruit, the cherry, a lot of times you get some sarsaparilla or root beer, and yeah, I think Pinot Noir is a good call. I like also things like Grenache is one of the ones I go to for Thanksgiving. So I think those two are pretty good matches. I actually had an in-store wine tasting just last week, and I did a Portuguese red. It was very reasonably priced. It was kind of sort of a budget presentation for Thanksgiving, because a lot of people, you're spending a lot of money on the food anyway. You might want to budget a lower price wine, especially if you have a lot of people over. So I did a Portuguese red. I did a Côte d'Aron, which is usually Grenache dominant, and I did a Grenache from Australia, and then I did some bubbles from South Africa. But we're going to get started right away with Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. This is the JJ from J. Christopher 2022 Pinot Noir Willamette Valley. This rolls in at $20. And $20, good price point for Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. I have to say I haven't tried this in a while, so we're here to find out if it's worth the 20 bucks. It's part of what this is about. By the way, I got the material to put up a kind of help the echo in this studio. So I hope that really helps. I'm going to try that later this week, and hopefully we have a less echo episode. And then I got an overhead light so that when the garage light turns off, the one that when you open the garage door, it still has a nice light over the top of me. So I'm hoping all that works. So let's go with the JJ Pinot Noir from Willamette Valley, $20. Of course, now we could use a whiteboard, but most Pinot Noirs have not very dark colors, especially from the Willamette Valley in Oregon. And this one proves that. You can see right through it. Kind of a red flower, sort of light red color. Let's see what we get on the nose. Get a little Asian spice, which I love. I love Asian spice in Pinot Noir. Some red flower and cherry notes. When I say Asian spice, you get a little bit of cinnamon coming through there. A little bit of sous le bois, which is French for under the wood, which means earthiness. I love that word, sous le bois. So a little bit of earthiness, cinnamon, cherries, red flowers. Let's see what we get on the palate. I'm super impressed with this. It's been a long time since I tried this. Jay Christopher is a very well-known winemaker, very respected Pinot Noir producer down in Oregon. And it has nice Asian spice, good acidity, fresh, but not, you know, not peel the enamel off your teeth acidity. Just really nice, good balance. Nice Asian spices, little cherry notes, some red flower notes. Very light on the palate, but I think this would be fantastic with turkey, stuffing, all of those things. I really have a hard time finding something that goes with cranberry sauce, but this might work. You know, it's a tough one to match, I just think. But this is not overpowering. A lot of finesse to this Pinot Noir. That earthiness comes through right on the back of the mid palate into the finish. The finish lingers. I love that kind of cinnamon Asian spice thing going on. Yeah, I love this wine. $20. I'm going to go A minus. A minus to A. Really solid wine from J. Christopher, Pinot Noir, $20, Willamette Valley, 2022. Good start. Now, let's move on to kind of a maverick in Willamette Valley, Ken Wright Cellars. Ken Wright, very respected winemaker, but also much of a maverick. He's kind of rubbed people the wrong way occasionally, but not, he's calmed down in his later years. This is 2024. Ken Wright, Pinot Noir, Willamette Valley. This was in at $27. So we're getting up there a little bit. But again, on this program, I try to find good values, and good values don't always mean they're going to be sub $20. But sometimes you just want to spend a little bit more, especially if there's only a couple of you. Like my wife Susie and I, we kind of cook up game hens, you know, and we have some other things we do. But yeah, this one's just a little darker than the J. Christopher. You still see through it quite easily. More on the redder, and it hedges a little bit to the darker red side, the dark side. Ken Wright, Willamette Valley Pinot Noir, $27. Let's see what we get on those. A little restrained on the nose. I get kind of a soapy, kind of, you know, like a bar of soap that has a floral scent to it. This also shows Sous le Bois, earthiness on the nose. I don't get the Asian spice, but I do get some tea components, some black tea components coming through on the nose. There's definitely some red flower notes, big time. Maybe even hedging towards purple flowers. And I'm getting some kind of thyme or herbal component on this one. More herbal, which I like. Yeah, definitely kind of thyme. Almost too, a kind of thyme going toward alfalfa, if that makes any sense to you. Let's see what we get on the palate. So a little more weight on the palate, but not a lot. Still shows a lot of finesse. The tannins are just a touch heavier, but still not heavy. Perfect for Thanksgiving. I get some nice black tea components, almost going into Earl Grey sort of thing going on there. So that herbal component comes through. Again, I think it's more thyme that I'm getting on this one as far as the herbs go. Nice black tea slash into Earl Grey tea. Of course, there's cherry notes on this, even getting just a hint of root beer or sarsaparilla, is like they like to say. Nice balanced acidity. This will make it great for food. This has a little more of a serious grip on the finish, perhaps more skin tannin contact, which the color would say that maybe he leaves it on the skins a little bit longer than J. Christopher does with the JJ. Maybe even, I don't know if he uses any stem contact, might give it a little bit more tannin. Those are the things that give it tannin, the skin contact, the stem contact. because Pinot Noir doesn't have heavy tannins, but if you leave them on the skins a little bit longer, you might, draw a little more tannins out of them. I like this wine a lot. A little more serious than the JJ. The price is right. I'm going to go straight up. I got to go straight up A minus A on that one as well. There you go. Way good start. Now this is one I've always really liked. This is the 2022-3. So we have 22, 23, 24. Willamette Valley Vineyards whole cluster Pinot Noir, Willamette Valley, Oregon. So whole cluster, they don't break the stems off. They just whole cluster, press it. And this is $31. Okay, so we're stepping up a little bit. We're over 30 now. But still, depending on the wine, is it a value? I think both of these are at their price point. Now, I've been a big fan of this one over the years. I haven't tried it recently, so let's see what we get on the nose. Definitely juicier on the nose. I get some tea components. I get cherry, red flowers. Almost, I almost sense a fatter feel on the nose with this one. Color is dark, maybe the same as Ken Wright. Maybe. Yeah, maybe a little darker than Ken Wright. Maybe. Definitely get a root beer component coming through as well. Cherries, there is an herbal component. Once again, it almost leads edges towards like a alfalfa hay thing. Tea. Oh yeah, just definitely black tea. Super excited to try this. Let's see what we get on the palate. It has a richer mouthfeel, but it's certainly not going California on you here. Again, I think the skin contact, it gives a little bit more grippiness on, but still the tannins are light. Nice integration, nice balance, as the other two had. A little richer, but not rich. Just a little bit richer than the other two. I get that, definitely get that kind of herbal component, kind of that alfalfa thing coming through. Black tea, root beer, cherry, red flowers. I'm going to hedge towards thyme as the herb on this one because it's a little sweeter, but not sweet. It's not a sweet wine. Dry. This would, all three of these would be great matches with turkey, the turkey meal, the traditional Thanksgiving meal. Each one is a step up. I'm going to go straight up I'm going to go straight up A on this one. Maybe hedging towards A+. I think it's a really solid Pinot Noir. It has that elegance, that Asian spice I'm getting on this one as well with the dried herbs and the red flowers. Just a hair richer, but not a lot. Yeah, I like this one a lot. So there you go. Stepping up. They're all three excellent wines. They're all in the A category, maybe not hedging towards A+, but they're all there. And they're not super expensive. You start going to Burgundy, you can easily get up into the $40 to $50 range in a heartbeat. Just saying. So to get the quality of these wines at these prices is really, really cool. And they make great wines to match with Thanksgiving. And I think in terms of, like the JJ would be great if you had a few people over. Ken Wright, less, maybe Willamette Valley. Just you and your lovely bride or girlfriend or whatever, your significant other. It would be a great wine to have with Thanksgiving. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. By the way, I would like some input, and I don't get a lot of comments, and that's probably my fault because I don't work at it hard enough. I should, but I don't, and I will in the future. But what things would you like to see me review? What really stands out to you? Now, I know some episodes I do, they get very little views, and then other ones, they just explode. I have several episodes with thousands of views. And the subscribers have kind of been struggling lately, and I hope it's not because I'm not giving out good content. Any sort of input you can give me, I would appreciate. Just make a comment, give me some ideas. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.